Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, free to play. Guys, I need to call out my biggest free to play mistake since I've been playing on this account. And we're now coming up, we're on 180 days as of recording this. And it's probably been something that's been playing on my mind for a long time because I feel like I've overrated a champion for a long time. Okay, on the free to play, you've got like finite resources. You can't just go and 60 anyone you like whenever you like. It's actually a real challenge to get people to get champions up to level 60. Yeah, and you can see over the course of this account, I've managed to get in 180 days here. We've got probably what 12 level 60 champions. Okay, 12 6 stars. Once you start to get yourself more than 5 or 6 stars, the game becomes way more enjoyable, and you start to be able to kind of make decisions around, you know, what team do I want to bring to this particular fight. Up until that point, you're just kind of like, well, I've leveled champions. They have to be my team for everything. So making decisions around who you need to 6-star is actually really critical. And I've got to call out probably my worst mistake. And that is our very handsome lady here, Armina. Now, on paper, I feel like she looks like an absolutely top tier epic champion. Yeah, so if we go through her kits, she's got a chance to stun on her A1. Yeah, let's just count books quickly first. 4, 8, 10. That's a lot. I've used 15 books on this champion. 15 epic books gone down the drain on this champion. So she's got a chance to stun on her A1. It's actually an okay A1. Got a bit of RNG coming in here. It's less than a 50-50, but there is a chance. Okay. Her A2 is what made me decide to take her on as my first 60, or as one of my first 60s. And I actually took her on ahead of War Maiden, who does a similar job in a similar faction, the same faction. So she's got an AoE attack here, books up to 100% chance of placing decreased defense, steals turn meter from champions under decreased defense. Okay, so far you're like, well, she's way better than War Maiden, right? She's doing the same ability with the same decreased defense. It's also on a 3-turn. But let's not forget, I had to use 15 epic books to get to this level, whereas War Maiden is totally free to book. Yeah, my War Maiden, who now just kind of jumps in a little bit of faction wars. I could go and farm as many War Maidens as I like in campaign, right? And she's got, if I farmed it up on a 3-turn, the same percentage chance to put decreased defense on all enemies. Yeah, she's the same, basically. So where I thought Armina was going to start coming in clutch was actually on this A3. Okay, 20%. She decreases turn meter of all enemies by 20. And if booked out again, 100% chance of placing a stun on enemies who have got their turn meter fully depleted. I can tell you now, it never happens. Firstly, you can't stun bosses, okay? So that's fine. We just know that's not going to happen. But I never get stuns from this. And it's a whole waste of an ability. I never get stuns. Yeah, and I just kind of like, I thought this was going to be pretty OP. But it's really not. It's really, really not. Unless you're throwing somebody like a Sylar in front of her to massively reduce turn meter so that when she then reduces turn meter, it kicks back. Because the trouble is, every time someone takes a turn, you kind of tick. You tick turn meter all the time. So you're more often than not at a higher turn meter than you are at a low turn meter. So to just throw people back by 20% is so rare that I actually get a stun. And because she doesn't hit with this, it does 0 damage. It can't proc any War Master hits. So I find myself thinking, maybe I should just turn it off. Maybe I should just not let her use it at all. Because at least I get a hit out of her A1. And I get a better chance to stun, probably, than this. So it's really been, firstly, it's a massive mistake, but it's also been like a big eye-opener for me. You know, this really isn't as strong an ability as it sounds. And, yeah, pretty sad. A passive, if the A3 worked well, a passive would be brilliant. Get turn meter for every time an enemy receives a stun. You'd be like, that, wow, she must be cycling through turn meter all the time. The only way this works is if you pair her with other stun champions. And then she might start to blow up and start to be amazing. But honestly, for a free-to-play account where you've really got a finite amount of resources, it's easily my biggest regret. I would much rather have just farmed up more War Maidens, booked out my War Maiden like I did on the first free-to-play account that I did last year. The rest of her kit is kind of not much either, but at least she's got some poisons on her A1. Like, she's basically the same benefit to me. The other thing to kind of be aware of is, like, Armina is incredibly squishy in terms of her defense number. She's very difficult to build to keep alive. Yeah, and that's actually a criticism of a War Maiden too. Her defense is quite low, not as low as Armina's though. So War Maiden actually becomes easier to build to stay alive. So yeah, you put the two of them side by side. If I had to make that decision again, I would definitely have gone with War Maiden. The reason I kind of went with Armina is because I was thinking in my head, there's so many good epic champions now that do a decreased defense ability. Yeah, so I thought I'll just wait until I get one of them, and then that's going to be the next champion that I build out. But if I had that kind of time again, I would definitely be waiting off. I'd build the War Maiden for now. I'd be waiting off for a Stag Knight or a Deke. Yeah, these two are far stronger. A Tyrell that some people were getting from the referral links, way better. Yeah, even though he's on a longer cooldown on his 4 turn instead of a 3, I'd still take him over an Armina like that. Like, wouldn't even consider the two side by side. I've recently got a Zardgala on the free to play, who has actually got decreased defense on a 4 turn if booked. She also takes a lot of books, and you know, if I just held off, this would be a way better champion to build out for me than that Armina. But yeah, there's a ton more. We've got Tylesia here, who's way better. Obviously, the champions like Madame, Spider. There's a whole ton of them. And I kind of just felt like she was in the same bracket. But honestly, after now playing the game for half a year, it's by far like my biggest regret. You know, 15 of my epic books gone on someone that honestly is just performing to the level of a rare that I could have booked out for absolutely nothing. There you go, guys. My biggest regret on the free-to-play. I've been Hell Hades. Free-to-play. I'll see you later.